Let's see, wrong one. There you go. Something right here. There you go. Cool. All right, we've got Megan Yeakey, the other half. The other half of the Yeakey clan, the Dominations, and just kind of give you. We're kind of doing some different, changing up a little bit, but we'll talk a little bit about. All right, we'll talk about a little bit about the what do you do once you get to the appointment. Then we're going to also then come back and bookend it with talking about what kind of leads you need to do, how you should be thinking about leads, and get Michelle up here and talk some about that too. And then coming up, we've got Jeff Ackox going to be talking to us about one of our carriers and some of the benefits they can bring. So stay tuned. Keep going.
Yay.
Keep rocking.
Good job, everybody. Hey, guys. I'm going to talk this way and that way just so I can feel like I'm addressing everybody. But yeah, so we kind of stayed on phone script for a little while, but there's a reasoning behind that. A lot of agents just in general across the industry can get stuck on the phone calls, which leads to the other parts not being relevant, right? And that's why we preach so hard in the beginning with people of make the phone calls, book your appointments, we'll deal with the rest as we need to. Because the rest of the stuff just doesn't matter unless we have appointments booked, right? Can we all agree? And so that's why we stick on that for a little while. I mean, getting good at the phone is going to be your biggest asset. You're going to naturally grow as an agent and as a person as you get in the field and sit on appointments and meet with clients and gain experience. I mean, you just I can't give you all the experience that I've gotten over the last 5 years. Michelle can't give you the experience she's got. I'm trying to learn Medicare and get good at that. Juanita can't give that to me. Michelle can't give that to me, but I've got to go get it myself. And so anyway, we stayed on that for a little while just because I just want to reiterate how important it is to get good at just getting good at the phones, not worrying too much about what people say to you. Okay, but once you get good on the phones and once you start booking appointments, you're going to need some tools that are going to help you in the home. And I just kind of want to go through what an in-home process just from a topical level looks like because we've got so much training on that. Oh, and also another big thing too is like we don't really have people come in to do in-home training type of stuff. We really have people come into our office to sit with us as we dial and to sit with us while we work, not necessarily come and sit in the homes with us, because that doesn't give you the same, again, it's not going to give you the same experience as you will get sitting in appointments on your own. But there are some tools that you're going to need. And so I'm going to kind of go through that a little bit so that you do know what your tools are so that you're prepared. When I'm booking appointments, I use a calendar. And I don't know, over the years, I've gotten better at using an electronic calendar, my Outlook calendar, but I'm a real big paper person. Like I just would rather, I love having things written down in my calendar. And so this is just a good tool to keep track of all of your dials, your appointments, and then the appointments that you book. Y'all see I have a ton of leads in here because these are the leads I need to go through this week. And these are all the appointments that I've already mapped out that I'm going to book this week. I'm just booking them later today and then tomorrow. But you can see that I already have it all drawn in because I'm prepared for that to be my reality this week. Okay. So once I get these appointments booked and I'm driving to the appointment, when I get out of my car, I have four things, I guess. I have my purse, which goes around me. It's just a little side purse. I have my iPad, which has all of my applications on it, e-apps, and it has all paper apps if for whatever reason my internet is not working on there that I can write on with my Apple Pen. And then I have my ATM. And did I say 4? Am I still at 3? Okay, so then this is my 4th thing that I have. It's just a manila folder that has leave behind material for the client. So when you get to a home, you knock on the door, and remember, it's like a lot of us in here have been in the restaurant industry, and who's the first person in the restaurant that impacts the customer? Hostess. It's the first person that your customer is going to see when they walk into the door. If you walk into a restaurant and that person has a look on their face that's not happy, or their body language is slumped, how excited are you to be there? Your experience is going to be a whole lot better when you walk into a restaurant and the hostess is glad to see you, happy to sit you, all those things. So don't stand at the door like this, Don't kid yourself. These people are looking outside their window. They're looking through their peephole. They're checking to make sure that it's you at their door. So stand there. I always knock, ring the doorbell, and then step a couple of feet back. And I just hold my hands to the side, and I just smile and I sway until they answer the door. That way, when they do answer, I am a happy person. I'm a friendly face. I'm somebody that they feel they can trust, because my body language isn't attacking. Does that make sense? I'm open-bodied. I'm ready to shake their hand, take my shoes off, do whatever I feel is comfortable, whatever I feel is most comfortable for them. While I take a step back, I also kind of look around, try to get some ideas of things I want to talk about with them, because people feel connected when you try to connect to them and things that they like, right? So, for example, sometimes people have little things in their garden, like I've just seen some funny things. I was going to say gnomes. They've had this one gnome in their garden. They don't have it. My parents have nothing in their garden out front except for this one gnome that has hung around for, I swear, 15 years. No one knows where the gnome came from. He's just the gnome. He's the gnomey. My gnomey. Anyway, so I'm always looking for things that I can make conversation about, whether it's a sticker on the back of a car, or the other day I saw somebody had a little emblem outside of their door that said the year that they got married. The Moores, established 2010. So now I have something I can talk about with them. I'm not just having to create conversation, right? So anyway, I get to the door. When you walk into the home, you always want to find the table. And we want to sit at the table because we don't want it to be too comfortable, but we're in their home, so they're already comfortable, right? But we want them to be at a place where it seems like business. And if you're a woman, you always want to sit next to the woman. If you're a man, you always want to sit next to the man. And open-bodied, you don't want to close anybody off from the conversation. You want to set it up to where you're open to both husband and wife, or daughter and whoever it is. So a lot of times people, especially if it's final expense or mortgage protection, believe it or not, sometimes it's a lot of times a parent and a child. So when you get there, and you're going to naturally make this your own, but I'm just casual with people. I just like to be casual with people. I don't necessarily like it to be a business presentation, okay? Because I'm, again, going back to what Jonathan said, I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm just trying to fill a need, okay? So we already know there is a need because they filled out a form and sent it back to our office. We just need to build the why behind the need, why we're there with the customer, and then fill that. So this is what's called an ATM. This is just our Alliance training manual. We used to call it the Alliance Sales System, but that acronym didn't work as well as ATM, right? So, and we like ATM because what do ATMs do? They print money. That's right. So in this ATM, if you use it, and when you use it, it will help walk you to a sale. There is not one home that I have ever gone in on without my ATM. So don't think that, some people don't have to use it. No, everybody has to use it. I think I walked into a home one time without it, and I felt naked. I felt weird. It was weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I made the sale, to be honest with you. I felt weird. What it's designed to do is just walk you to the sale. So it starts with, we are the Alliance, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't go through it like I did in the beginning anymore because I'm more comfortable with my presentation. But in the beginning, I do recommend that you guys actually go through it page by page with the customer. Not verbatim, don't turn your head and read it like it's a PowerPoint, but have it on the table so that they can read it and you can read it, and so you get comfortable with the whole process. I'm going to tell them a little bit about me because I want them to feel comfortable to open up to me about them. We're in a unique position. We're financial services, but we're also life insurance. So when you go to your doctor, you don't necessarily tell your doctor all your financial, information. And when you go to your financial advisor, you don't necessarily tell them all of your health information. But as a life insurance agent, we get to know both. So it's a unique position that you have with that customer, and it's a unique relationship, and it's extremely valuable. And so you just want to make sure that you open up to them so that they feel comfortable to open to you. I always tell people, so I'm not a stranger to you. Again, my name is Megan, and this is after I've sat down at the table and I've already built a little bit of rapport. I've probably sat with them for about 15 minutes without opening this at all. Maybe 10. I don't like to go 15. That's a little long. Maybe 5 or 10 minutes. But then I'll just say, again, my name is Megan. I have been doing this for about 5 years. And in the beginning, I kind of would say I've been doing this for a little while. I didn't necessarily say how long, but I've been doing this for a little while, and you can use that too if you're new. I'm married. I have a dog. Do you guys have a dog? I see a dog over there. It's just another reason to connect with people. And by showing them pictures, it just makes you more real. This is a copy of my license from the state of Texas. This is my husband. We like to travel. Isn't he cute? They're like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. The conversation naturally flows. I'm being a little silly, but it just naturally will flow. As I continue with them, I'm flipping the lead back around to them, and I'm saying, here's why I'm here, but just so I can understand how to help you guys a little bit better, can you tell me maybe why you sent this back to my office? And then just let them talk. They may not know the answer yet. They may say, well, or they might. Sometimes people do know the answer. Well, my friend told me to get this, or I saw on here that it paid off my home, or I saw on here that it paid for my burial expenses. And whatever it is, say, perfect. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm here to help fill that for you. What my job is, I'm just a field underwriter. I work with the insurance companies, and I work with you. My job is to find which program fits your family best, because it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's dependent on your age and your health. And my job is just to search all the companies for you and figure out which one gives you the best bang for your buck. Does that make sense? And they're like, yeah. I go, so we're going to go through a couple of questions. Once we figure out which plan fits your family's needs best, we'll send an application to the insurance company, and I'll be your point of contact from here on out. And then I'll kind of go, how do you recognize any of these carriers? A lot of times people will say, oh, yeah, I know this one, that one. I personally will point out a few that I know I'm going to recommend anyway, regardless. I'll say, just so you know, so this isn't this doesn't come up later, or I'll just say, just so you know where I'm headed. Most of the time for this particular plan, we'll go with Omaha, Transamerica, Foresters, AIG, or CFG, just so you know where I'm headed, okay? A lot of these other insurance companies are for unique situations, but these are the couple that I'm going to search through for you, all right? And they're like, okay, perfect. What I'm trying to do is take away any objections that may come out in the end. You want to address the objection before the objection ever happens. That's when you really get good at closing more sales, is when you can get through those before they ever happen. So why is it important? I kind of already went through this with the client in the beginning when I flipped the lead back around to him and I asked him why I'm there. And I'll dig deeper with you on that. But essentially, we're just trying to dig deeper into that why. You know, Katie, if something happened to Clint last week, what would today look like for you? Do you think that you would, so Katie said that, I was asking about her husband, if something were to happen to him last week, what kind of situation would that put her in today? And she said she would still have to work full time and not be able to travel like she likes to. And the reality of the situation is, guys, if something were to have happened to her husband last week, not only is she still going to have to work, but she's emotionally devastated. You know what I mean? And so we need to get that emotion inside kind of twirling with the customer, because as much as this is a logical sale, it's more of an emotional sale than it is logical for most people. Because the fact that, you know, we think about losing a loved one, that's what's going to make us take the next step into doing it today rather than waiting until next week. Does that make sense? If it's logical, then they'll wait, because logically, I'm probably not really going to die next week, but I could. So we just have to get that emotion and that, what's the word? Urgency created by emotion. Okay. So that's what, why is this important, we'll do. And there's other questions that you can ask, but we're going to go through whatever we're there for. There's a mortgage protection page, and there is a final expense page. After you book your first round of appointments, go through this and read it. You won't be confused on what mortgage protection is and what final expense protection is. It clearly states what it is on these pages. And that's why, as a new agent, you really should use this every single appointment, page by page, because it's going to help you build your skill and your knowledge on just the products in general. But yes, got a question?
I was going to say, but what about for somebody like me who's been there 13 years? Should I use it, and why?
You should absolutely use it, because although you know what it says and you know the purpose, people see things and take things in different ways. So I'm a visual learner. I like to see things. I don't just hear it and process it. If I hear it, see it, and it's written down for me, or I write it down, I'm going to retain that information a little bit better. And so even when you're sitting there and you might be talking, they're reading what's on the page. So while you're saying it, they're reading it. So it's just becoming more reality. Does that make sense? So that's why you should always have this. And it just keeps you on track, because regardless of how good you get, you can still come off track of this. And a lot of times I'll tell people, hey, listen, there's a short version and a long version to this. Which one do you want? And regardless of what they say, I'm going to say, okay, here's my toolkit. Here's my thing that's going to keep me on track. So if we get off track, I'm going to come back to this so that we can both get back on track. So yeah, what happens next? Then you go through the financial picture page. This is where we're going to find out what the customer actually qualifies for, or information on what we need so we can figure out what the customer qualifies for. I'm going to go through the rest of this quickly, but because we're not going to go through all this today, but you'll give them 3 quotes. The emergency response system is our referral system, and this is how we get referrals from people. And it's a system that helps protect the client in the case of something happening. And maybe you guys don't know this, but over $1 billion there's over $1 billion in unclaimed life insurance. And it's not because the insurance companies didn't want to pay the claim, but it's because nobody knew there was a policy in place. Or if they did know, they didn't know who to call. So what we do as a free service for our customers is we get 10 people on an emergency response form, and after we get that policy to us, the application, as the agent, we're going to call through that emergency response system for the customer and say, hey, listen, your friend Savannah just bought a life insurance policy. Don't worry, nothing's happened. I'm just her agent, and she had put you on her emergency response system list so that if anything ever happened to Savannah, that there could be multiple people that call into the insurance company to get the file claimed. Are you okay with this responsibility? And they'll say yes or no. Most people say yes. I think I've only had like one person ever tell me no to that. So you then give them your information, the insurance company's information that they got the policy through, no information about the actual policy because that's not their information to know, but who it's through and who to call is the information they need. And then you can ask the customer or the ERS person that you're on the phone with, has anybody taken the time to set something like this up for you? And that gives them an opportunity to say, actually, no one's ever done this for me. Or actually, no, I don't have any life insurance. And then that's an opportunity for you to help that family. Cool. So that's ERS. The prescription discount card, that's just another way to get referrals and also to help your clients save some money on prescriptions. Save money. Woo, excuse me. It's funny, Jonathan, the other day, we went to go visit him at Yard House, and he comes over to me. He's like, hey, do we do annuities, or what license do I need to do annuities? I go, bro, you got the license to do, you had the license to do annuities. He goes, cool. So what exactly is an annuity? And don't worry, most agents don't know what an annuity is, but until you actually find one, right? Find an opportunity for one. But this just helps identify if there is any safe money in the home. Okay, so it's just a series of questions that helps ask for safe money. And then final questions. Do you feel good about taking care of your family today and for $85 a month? This is what's going to help keep the business sticky and on the books. That way they don't cancel it the next week. You got to make sure that you're putting policies in place that people are comfortable with financially and that they feel good. So don't be scared to ask that. It's better for that client to go ahead and tell you, you know what, I really can't afford the $100 a month, but I think I can do the $50. You say, no problem, let's just lower it down. We want to make sure that this is comfortable for you. It's not meant to, stress you out. It's meant to help you sleep better at night, knowing that if something were to happen, your family's covered. And anything's better than nothing. Can we both agree? All right. Anything you can think of that would prevent you from keeping this payment going. And that's kind of reiterates what I just said before. If you've got to replace 4 new tires this week or this month, can you still afford your insurance policy? You can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to upsell, and you can't be afraid to downsell, because you can't ever sell out of your pocketbook, but you got to make sure it's still comfortable for them. So these are just questions that are going to help you retain business. And then the last question is, do you know somebody who may be interested in making an extra $500 a week? We're always looking to help. We're always looking to add agents to our agency. That's recruiting opportunities. Health matching account. You also can do health matching accounts with us. Y'all, there's so much opportunity just in the clients. We literally now, I know he went through this earlier, but we have the opportunity to do a lot of different sectors of the financial services industry, and you can do it all if you want to. Start with just the life insurance if you're just getting started with us. That's the easiest. As you get better, you can add on as you go, but I hope that was helpful for the in-home.
Yo, give her a hand. I love her like she's my own daughter.